Hello everyone, it's Bethany, Classroom OT. Today we are going to be looking at the handout that says it's for encouraging your child to tilt their head up. We are actually not going to be using it for that. I just liked it for the picture at the bottom to remind me to show you guys how I work with your children in supported seating to bear weight through their arms. I'm going to show you a bunch of different ways that I do that. But I just wanted that picture to remind me. I've got my model child here. Let me tilt my camera up a little bit. So I really do like the position that was shown in that picture, where I'm on the floor and the child is right in front of me. Depending on how tall your child is, sometimes I will sit them on my foot. Sometimes I will be crisscross applesauce. We'll start with that since that's what the picture showed. I like this position because I'm close to the child. I can support their body if they lose their balance. They can lean back onto me a little bit. I also like it because they can use my legs for support. So a lot of times, depending on how tall the child is, how long their arms are, a lot of times I'll have the child bend their arm. I'll turn to the side so you can see. If they bend their elbow, then they can bear weight through that arm on a bent arm on that side. So what I'll do is I'll bend both of the child's arms and rest them on my legs. And then depending on if they're tilting forward, if they're tending to lean back, I provide them support so they can stay mostly upright. And then once they seem like they've got their balance, I'll give them a little tilt to one side. So then they start to put a little bit of weight through that arm. It's not completely leaning, so all of their weight is going through the arm. It's just a little tilt so they start to feel what it feels like when some of their weight is resting on that arm. And I'll give myself a little count of 10, or I'll sing a song for them. If they're not doing anything else while you're working on this activity, it's fine if they're not doing anything else, you can sing a song for them. If they are doing something else, like watching a preferred video, something else has their attention, then it's okay if you just count in your head. But I like to give a count of 10 or 20, just so I know that if I do it 20 times on one side, I'm going to do it 20 times on the other side as well. If your child is a little bit taller, or if you choose to put your legs out, then they might be able to reach all the way down to the ground and support themselves with their hand. If they are in this position, what you'll find is if they lean and they are not strong enough to hold themselves up, their weak spot will be their elbow. So if I were to lean this child a little bit to his left, her left, its left, their left, and she's not strong enough to hold herself up, then her elbow will bend. So I could give a little bit of support at the elbow to help it stay straight, just so the child can feel, this is what it feels like when I'm reaching down to the floor to push up with my hand. I would count to that side or sing to that side, and then go ahead and switch to the other side, providing support. I'm always making sure that I've got my hands on the child's torso, either the shoulders or the torso, so that if they were to lose their balance, I could catch them. We don't want to have them in a position where we're going to just leave them on their own and they would topple to the floor. You guys are all parents, you know that, but just a reminder. Another thing is, once you give them that sensation of here's what it feels like with me helping you, and then if you have your hands in a safe position, go ahead and just pull them back a little tiny bit and see if I'm not giving my child as much support, are they able to use their muscles to kick in and push themselves back up? If the child is working on weight bearing through their arms instead of sitting on your lap and using your legs, and you want them to get that elbow, it's a little bit easier to weight bear through the elbow because you're just working one segment of your arm, really focusing on that shoulder versus when you have your arm out straight, you're having to extend the elbow, stabilize the shoulder. It's more that you have to control. So if you want the child to work just on that shoulder stability, you can roll up a blanket, a towel, and then place that underneath their arm. Boppy pillows are also great to wrap around the back of the child. And then I also really like, I don't have a boppy with me, excuse me, but I'll show you how I like to use a boppy to work on weight bearing. I put the boppy around the front of the child, and then that gives them something nice and soft and a little bit elevated to rest their elbows on. And then they can bend their elbows and lean forward, putting some weight through their arms and up to their shoulders that way. So a boppy on their lap, they can lean forward. Another way that I work on weight bearing through the arms is I have the child sit crisscross applesauce, and then they can lean forward and weight bear through their arms. This is a great one if you have a tablet or a light up musical toy that the child likes to see. Place it right here. That encourages that head and neck extension. They're getting some work through their arms. You can always support them a little bit by holding onto their torso, but that forward lean works a slightly different muscle group than whenever they're leaning to the side, You can also do a tilt back to see if your child is able to reach their arms back to support themselves. If you've got a television or a tablet up higher, if siblings or other family members are in the house and the child likes to watch and see what's going on, this is a good time where you can put the child's hands back, you can support them at their torso, and then see if you can get some weight bearing through the arms that way. Always start by providing almost full assistance. You want the child to get the idea of where are my hands, where is my body, and then slightly with that rocking, if you feel like, okay, I think they're doing a little bit of work here, pull your hands away just a tiny little bit to see, are they able to engage their muscles? Are they getting a sense of which muscles need to be activated in order for them to maintain that position? So these are just some of the activities that I do with your children a lot of times during circle time, whenever they are focused on something that's engaging for them. And I think that I can squeeze in a little bit of this supported weight bearing position. These are some of the positions that I tend to use with them. Thanks, I hope these are helpful for you all. Feel free to give them a try at home. You've got my email. I'll send out my phone number with this as well, so that if you're in my classes and you'd like some further guidance on how to do these positions with your child, you can get a hold of me. Thank you, everybody.